Before I get started on this review, I should make it very clear that I wanted to hate this product the second that I stepped into it. I thought this vehicle has officially jumped the shark when it comes to screens in cars, because look at this dashboard, 48 screens of real estate, which you can't really do that much with. So I put on my seatbelt, hit the road, and was just devising all of the different ways that I could rip this car a new one. But quite frankly, just in a few turns, a few minutes driving, I felt myself calm down, and then I was quickly on board with the idea that this might be the best modern Lincoln to date. It is not perfect, I still don't like these screens, but I have come to enjoy this product more the more I've driven it. And if you're someone that maybe isn't as enthusiastic about technology as me, I think you will enjoy this product. So let's hit the road so I can walk you through the sequence of events that I went through. I think one of my biggest irritations with modern car design is that yes, we want touchscreens. We want touchscreens to use our Apple CarPlay, maybe quickly access some system menus. That's all good, that all works. But if you make a screen bigger, but don't add any more functionality, the increased cost that you're going to have to pay to get into this vehicle because of the development and the technology and the resources, and then of course if something goes wrong, to add on to that too, it's all just completely unnecessary to me. It doesn't make a vehicle better. And in the case of this Nautilus, the screen that cuts down the middle towards the passenger side, you have 3 widgets that you can interchange, but they don't do anything more than that. It's like the weather doesn't need to be bigger for it to be better. I don't need the clock face to be any larger to have a better understanding of what time it is. If you ever go into Apple CarPlay and you're navigating towards somewhere, you lose the Google Map imaging that's in the center of the display, and then it just becomes more of the background. You've got 4 themes. This one's my favorite because it's kind of like a Martian landscape, and it's got the speedometer of this ray of light across the horizon, and I don't think I've ever had more of an incentive to speed in a vehicle, because it's just a nice thing to look at, and as you go faster it grows further to the right, and kind of want to see if there's an Easter egg on the other side, if you know what I mean. So that was my first impression and first frustration, is that you've got all of this screen real estate, and even though it might be bright, it might be crisp, there's nice colors, if you can't do anything more with it, what's the point? Then that frustration grew even more when I found out the 11.1 inch touchscreen right in front of you. You have apps built in like Prime Video, YouTube, a couple of games, you can surf the web, all of that, brilliant, but you can't put them up on these main screens anywhere. I don't know, you might be in a situation where you've just got to park up for half an hour, you want to watch some YouTube. Why is it you can't put it up on this big screen, or maybe have 2 different feeds at once? I don't know, I don't get it. And then you've got a couple games built in where you can actually hook up a controller, like a PlayStation controller, and play games, but again, you can only do it on the main screen, and there's a 2-player mode to this game I'm showing up on the screen here. If you were sitting down at the parking lot trying to kill time, you had a passenger with you, how brilliant would it be if this game was installed on the left-hand side and right-hand side of this big dashboard, and you could actually play this game? I imagine a comment would be something along the lines of, they will eventually introduce this kind of capability, but I fully believe in the statement of, don't buy a vehicle or any product of that fact that is promising you on future capability. That's just too big of a risk to take in my mind. Almost all of the climate control settings are set up through the touchscreen, and one big automotive sin for me, I experienced this in the Porsche Panamera, is where they don't have physical vent adjustments. That really irritates me, doing that in the screen. It's nice though that, and here's sort of an element of added capability, that there is an option to make the vents constantly in motion, so you're nicely brushed with air-conditioned air in hot weather such as this, as opposed to, you know, having a sweaty body but frozen cold knuckles, because that's the only place that the vents are concentrating their circulation. So I haven't grown to love these screens. I wouldn't own this product because of them. And really, if I was in charge of design of Lincoln, I think a more practical application to this low dashboard would have this screen right in front of me as it is now, but slope this dashboard up so it could be an extra place for storage, a second glove box. That has real purpose in my mind. So I think I've ranted enough about the screens and why I don't like them. And now it's time to get into why I have really enjoyed driving this vehicle. First off, this oval-ish steering wheel gives you a little bit of a nostalgia towards the old Lincolns of the 60s and 70s, the 1,000 feet long boats that are just wafting along down the road in the easiest cruising position possible. And with this, it does feel the same because we have very light steering, and I've found that just resting my hand on my knee as I'm doing right now and just having a grip like this is enough to keep you in the lane at any speed very suitably. It's honestly very quiet in this Lincoln, and I think this is suspension on the terms of Range Rover for highway ride quality. It really is that good. It's a bit choppy at slow speed stuff. I'd probably put blame on the 22-inch rims for that, but what has made this the best modern Lincoln yet in my mind is the ride quality, the ease of driving, and it does feel like a new step up for Lincoln. I feel like I say that for most Lincolns I drive, is that they feel like it's a step up over the last products that I've driven. And for this being an all-new generation, I think this is a promising direction for the brand. There's still some hard plastics down below in the door cards. The leathers might not be the smoothest or the richest outside of the steering wheel here, but it's passable. And for the amount of technology that you're getting in this product, for the size of it, it does show a real value proposition over the European rivals. Because for this second generation Nautilus, it's on the same platform that underpins the Escape and the Corsair. No longer has the V6. We have either a 2-litre 4-cylinder, the one I'm driving now, or a hybrid model. And with the 2-litre 4-cylinder, 250 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers don't seem all that big. Off of the line, I would say that the Nautilus has a good amount of pep to its step, but you don't have a tack in here unless you go into the sport mode. So I feel it dying at what I think is about 4,000 RPM. Power goes through an 8-speed transmission. Of course, there's all-wheel drive, and this is a mid-size SUV. When you look at the back seat room, there is a ton of space back there. I'm 6'4", sitting behind myself. You'd think I'd be sitting behind a driver a lot shorter than me to have this amount of foot space, knee room, headroom. It really is quite commendable as a mid-size SUV. We do have a couple of other gimmicks I'll share with you quickly. One being the digital scent, as it's called, where you can feed perfume into the air system to have a nice little refreshing smell if you feel the need. Another gimmick being the different themes that you can have for the dashboard. This one is the only one that feels like it has artwork across. The rest of them are mostly color modes, I would say. Lots of adjustments to the seats, and the different massage modes actually feel like they're doing you some good. The 14-speaker sound system I have in this model is pretty good, but I would like to compare it to the 28-speaker Revel system that is available in this product. And with that, I feel like it's time to wrap up this video. A little conflicted, to say the least, because yes, I do think the Lincoln Nautilus as a general mission is successful at being a mid-size premium SUV. It's got all the things that you would want to expect out of the driving experience and all of the technology, realistically, that you could ask for. The problem is the unrealized potential of having these screens in front of me here. I don't care that they're nice to look at. I care what they're capable of. And for me, that is a really big turn-off. But if you're someone that can look past that, I guarantee this is a product that will represent good value for its place in the market and I think serve you well. So I'll end my review there. Thank you very much for taking the time to watching this video, and I hope to see you again on the channel soon.